he'll get into the opening.
I'm pretty sure we are live, ladies and gentlemen. September 4th, 2025, coming at you live from the Canoga Park 2LaneLIVE headquarters, Canoga Park, California. This episode is brought to you by Law Tigers Motorcycle Attorneys. Get yourself in a crash, find yourself in a pinch, give them a call before calling 911, and they'll make sure you're taken care of. Galen, who do we got today?
Well, before we get into Gene here a little bit, maybe you could do a couple quick announcements about the bike giveaway.
Yes. So today,
I
got something in the mente somewhere. Today is September 4th. The bike giveaway ends September 30th, 2025. So if you're watching this and it's after September 30th, 2025, disregard this information. There might be another bike giveaway going on. But anyway, we are giving away the bike that Lance got for the 2025 Sturgis ride, the 2005 Electric Glide. That, trying to multitask here. It's not working. So every $10 spent at 2LaneLIVE.com from now until September 30th automatically enters you to win this bike. If you go to 2LaneLIVE.com, you can check out the official rules. But yeah, you can buy a t-shirt, win a bike, buy a sticker pack, win a bike. We got new shirts dropping tomorrow. And
I would just also add that we are dropping new collateral basically every week, whether that's a shirt, a koozie, or what have you. But let's get into Gene here. The last time we had you on, God bless you, you went down to the cultural center and we're in the truck using the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So welcome to the studio. Thank you for taking the time. You were talking earlier, probably the longest you've been in any one place for a year or so, and you've been here like a week.
Yes.
But we're lucky enough to get you in studio. Welcome.
Yes, welcome for sure.
Hey, it's great to be here.
So you're based out of New Mexico.
I'm based out in New Mexico, but I'm never there. It's been in the last 2 months, I've been in Florida, Nevada, Canada, different parts of California, back to Santa Fe, and then just as of recently back here in Los Angeles.
So I think you were 9 years old, and I think you told your mother you wanted to be or grandmother, a storyteller or something along those lines. So you're now, I'm not going to say your age, but how is that from that 9-year-old to today? Have you been telling those stories you wanted to tell?
You know what? It's been a million stepping stones, but yes, planting that seed as a young man of, hey, someday I'm going to be on television riding a horse has come to fruition. And even further, I'm very thankful to be, to have my dreams come true and to live my dreams every day. Storytelling is our oldest tradition as Indigenous people. So to be an actor carrying that on is very important to me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what you've been up to, because you're talking Florida, you're talking all the different states. When you mentioned that, you got the Airstream on the back, you're headed into these different places, and where are you going, and what are you seeing, and what are you trying to promote?
So what I'm doing is acknowledging the land that we stand on and retaining, preserving Indigenous languages. And first and foremost, for me, the most important part of that is honoring our elders who are sharing their stories with me with traditional protocol. Traditional protocol is coming forward, anytime you have a question or you want some answers to something, it's some advice. Traditionally you come forward. From where I come from, you come forward with tobacco. It's kind of like to seal the deal of the contract of asking for advice.
So it's a sign of respect. You're giving an offering to the elder.
Yes.
And some elders may tell you no up front.
Right. And they don't accept the tobacco.
Is it because they don't smoke or they don't want?
Maybe they don't. Maybe they feel they're not qualified to answer. They don't have the knowledge, and they don't want to waste my time or their time.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right? And again, out of respect, I do respect that.
But it's traditions. Yeah. So you have to respect it, right? And maybe they don't know you that well.
Exactly.
So what are you here for? Like what what do you need from me? And I think we found with Don Jr., the elder that we met from Don Mose, the storytelling that he gave. And now that you mention stuff about giving back or an offering, next time we see him, we got to come up with an offering.
So a quick story about when I met Don Mose Jr.
Yeah.
Traditionally, they give the cornmeal. And I had some. That I got from, because I know that's what they give. So I had some for him. And so first thing I did before we even shook hands was I gave him that.
No way.
And he was like, I just ran out of this. He said, I needed this. And right then and there, he did a blessing for me, which I've never had before with that medicine, where it was, I was very honored.
And
that's
didn't Carrie with a K give
I was just going to
something?
mention. So I carry a little bag that has stones and different things, and Junior was up there talking to we call them kids. They're 40-year-old kids, but telling them the stories and tradition in this last Sturgis trip that we just did. And we're up on Hunts Mesa, where no one really gets to. There's not that many people that have even seen it. Even Don Mose hadn't seen it. And so he came up and was talking. There was a gentleman with us, Carrie with the K. He walked over and handed him this and I'm getting one tomorrow, but handed him this very rare stone in Milwaukee or Minnesota, one of the two, but it looked like a bear paw.
Yeah.
And Don Junior was just staring at it.
He was rubbing it.
And he started rubbing it, and he said, that is one of the most precious gifts. And he's put it in his bag and he said something about the Bear Clan that represented, and no one knew any of this. And it just by fate, something traditionally happened, and we didn't have a clue about what was going on.
And he himself had his own bag, like you mentioned, and he put it in with all the other stones.
So speaking of that, along with the protocol that I give to the elders, I give, along with the medicines that I give, I'll purchase pottery, jewelry, artwork from other Indigenous elders to give back to other elders. And one of the other gifts that I give is I have the support of a company called Ammolite World Fossils. It's go under Cecil Lundgren or the Roback family out of Rimbey, Alberta. They have a mine and they have a company that uses my traditional stones. And so they've gifted me to be able to gift elders, the most unique gift I could give.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what we call a Iniskim, or a buffalo stone, which goes back to, an old legend when times were tough. And so now it's given to warriors when they're going on a battle or on a hunt, or even in sickness. It was the healing stone. So again, thank you for honoring me and giving me the opportunity to tell my story. So from my heart to yours.
Wow.
This is it's more rare than the diamond.
Wow.
The only place you can find this is on the only place you can find this quality is on my land in southern Alberta.
Really?
Wow, it's beautiful. It's
wow.
Dark green, has gold in it. It's smooth.
Like iridescent.
So in giving that to you, I wish you, being 75 million years old.
Wow.
75 million blessings to you and your family.
Wow.
So I'm thankful that I'm able to from Ammolite World Fossils to be able to share this with elders that I've.
So we're elders?
Well, you guys are storytellers and travelers as well. You guys
Right.
are wise men, just.
And
that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, really appreciate it. It means a lot. Taken right into the heart. When we met Don and his family and the brothers, we went into Monument Valley and we danced with them and we chanted with them. And they told us, they said, you guys are Navajo brothers now, you know. And it was, they were telling stories that now we're telling, but it's taken a whole world. He said it changed everything for them because now they have people coming to them. You came to them from one of our videos.
Right.
And you're sharing stories. We shared the stories. They're sharing. So the stories have multiplied from just
9 months
visit.
ago.
Yeah, just from a visit.
I mean, Don was telling us, Junior, that he was being recognized in eateries, and people are like, "Hey, I saw you
from being on our video."
Yes.
But it's important because I think, and I think I shared this with you the first conversation we had, and so if it's repetitive, it doesn't really matter. But when we first started telling the stories, our part of our shtick was history. And most of that history would come from Wikipedia or something.
Right.
So we're trying to really grasp it and then go with it. And I think maybe 6 months into it, we kind of realized that we're talking about white settlers, which isn't bad in one way or another, but we were leaving out who was here first, and which was the indigenous people.
We kind of got called out, you know.
Well, but they were right.
Yeah.
And so we started now when we do history, and we try to find out who was there first and talk about the tribes that were there first, or the clans, or whatever group of people were there, to make sure we honor that.
Yeah.
Well, I think as you go across America, I mean, it's not advertised, or it's very unknown whose traditional land you stand on. So that's part of my project as well, is acknowledging, you know, whether I'm, you know, going to Las Vegas, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm here in Paiute country. You know, I'm driving through the desert and I'm with my son, and I'm thinking, man, these Paiutes must have been some, you know, strong people to survive out here. And then you sit with the Paiute, and then you really realize how abundant life is out there. And, you know, it's not as desolate as it seems.
Wow.
You know, and
Well, they made it abundant.
Right.
They found the pockets that they could live in, whether it was a spring or a water source, or, you know, that was interesting too. When Don he did a little petroglyph for us.
I showed him that, yeah.
And the first one he was drawing in the sand, which you saw the video, he was talking about the crops, and he was doing a circle because they found that if they planted the corn this way, water runs in and runs out, and the corn doesn't really do well. But if they kept it in a circle, it holds more water, retains more water, and has a healthier crop.
Right.
So they had to learn that and think about that way back when.
Could you put Simon's quote up there?
Yeah, you did.
I think we
No,
were.
I want to read it.
You want to read it?
You want me to? Okay. Simon Small says, "Hi, 2LaneLIVE. I love this very special and spiritual live. We have a lot to learn from the peoples who offer them. Peace." Simon from the
That's
UK.
from UK.
Wow, right on.
Oh, there's Michelle Garcia. We saw you on the tour bus. That's the couple we met that saw us in the Hollywood Hills when we were doing the Mohawk.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I mean, this is the fun part about doing this, is you get to see all the comments that come in and how respectful and thankful people are. And we'll have some of them tell us, hey, what's wrong with you? But it's okay. But go back to the Paiute. So you've got a gift, and you're using your talents to get into the different areas and try to make sure people are aware of the language and the barriers that have come before and what you're trying to break down. Talk a little bit about the project and what you're doing with that.
So with the project, I'm in collaboration and with the support of Airstream. I'm traveling around the country.
Oh, that's how you got the Airstream.
Yeah, traveling around the country and bringing them in. You know what? I've been doing this for a long time, sitting with elders. And for me, again, it's that time spent with them. That's the most important part. I think we're losing that respect for our elders just as much as we're losing our languages. Right. So, but I've sat with them in their homes before. I did this with my own tribe, my own elders, and it was a preparation all day where they got ready, they cooked, and you know, and I didn't want them to have that much on their plate. So now I welcome them in. I feed them. I sit there, have
Yeah.
coffee, and I come forward first of all with the protocol of all the gifts that I have, and none of that I record or
Right.
that's so. But then we talk about our greetings, whatever story they want to share. I ask them, 50 years down the road. For me, I know my power is in knowing who I am and where I come from. So from whatever Al that is, whatever tribe that is, I ask them 50 years down the road, how would you tell the story of who you are and where they come from so that they know, right? And so it's turned into, I got over, in the past year, over 40,000 miles, 100 hours of footage. I do need to be more efficient in putting some of those videos together. I've put out maybe 10 minutes of little nuggets here and there.
Right.
I look forward to getting some, it's a lot, but I look forward, this is something that's bigger than me, and I hope it doesn't stop. Right now it's, I want to incorporate the children in the communities that I go to, so they see what I do with the protocol and coming forward and even smudging and cleansing what I gift to our elders to for them to carry that on and for them to save their own stories. Because I know what it is for someone to come into the community and take stories or extract and a lot of that is where even where stereotypes have come from. So for me, in doing what I'm doing, the elders, I'm sharing their voice. I'm not taking their story. I'm letting them tell their own story.
That's why you have to document it and have it saved.
And so for me, I've come to the understanding like how powerful Indigenous language is, even like the technology of you talking about the circular crops to keep the water retention. We had our own philosophers, our own astronomers, our own doctors. We had our own way of life that has disappeared. I mean, and that is for, I want to say for us to live the American dream.
Yeah.
Right. We're all here. We all have that opportunity to have children and educate ourselves and grow. And for me, it's, it's been at the loss of language and resources of the Indigenous people. And I'm not here to point fingers, but I'm here to do what I can to support that and to be able to go into a community, acknowledge them and share. I don't want to, part of my project is not to cross the line and
well, I was just going to ask you that as well.
Because it is
because there's you said 514 recognized tribes or something.
More than
something.
That.
Okay.
Just in America.
But in that, is there any like bad when you're coming in with good intention? Is because it's different tribes and different culture and different. How is that received? Have you had any issues? It's
different, and everywhere it's been different. You know what? And to be honest, it's for me, language is our power. But I've also been to communities where, isolated communities where I thought I was going to be eating moose meat and where actually it was like chicken fingers and fries all weekend. And they were a lot more, how would you say, colonized than I thought of. The churches that were, the religions that were enforced in these areas have been very prominent and have, even though they have their languages, a lot of them, I hate to say that, but they might as well have been speaking English.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just because of that secludedness that it's had that power.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, it's different everywhere.
Everywhere you go.
And from what the things that I've seen that have been great is, hearing the creation stories and how some of them mesh together. Right. And understanding the power of our languages. It's every word has a creation story to it, giving it the purpose, giving that whatever we're talking about, giving it a purpose and a place so that we don't misuse, abuse it, or take it for granted.
Yeah.
Right. It gives it that sacredness, whether it's a blade of grass or a piece of dirt, right? There's a
Well, and
purpose to that
again,
word.
Don was kind of talking about that stuff as well. Like if you can bridge all those barriers of different culture and just be kind to each other and listen to each other's histories, the world would be a much different and better place.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
I mean, with everything that we had that was sacred, I mean, everything is sacred, and nowadays everything is disposable.
Right.
Even the stuff that comes out of our mouth sometimes.
Right.
I mean, in English, you can say something and you could take it to a lawyer, they can bend the truth and make it mean the opposite, right? So it's
Well, that's interesting too, how he would pay respects to other, like the Anasazi. He was he was saying that the Navajo have a lot of respect. And to me, I'm looking at these are smaller people, right? They're up in the caves. They've built housing in the cave out of the, because I was interested in how they made, like, how do they make these things? Because it's like there's no gravel, there's no lime for cement, there's no cement mixture, there's not a lot of water. And that's when he showed us how the mittens were formed with the bottle of water. And then you pick up that sand, and that it's like a big thick brick. And then I got it. They were up there taking that sand, and they'd do a little piece at a time and let it dry. And that stuff is as hard as anything you have here. And back, how long ago is that? And they were smart enough to figure out how to build a structure in the side of the mountain in a cave.
Exactly.
Was that the Pueblos as well?
Yeah. Well, that was later, but yeah, they were the cliff dwellers or cave dwellers.
There was a lot more knowledge and
Yeah.
wisdom back then than there is now.
Well, and you'd see, because he showed us, so, okay, here's a spring that runs all year long, and you're like, wait a minute, this is Death Valley, basically. Monument Valley is really desolate. And here's a natural fed spring, and so that's where people congregated. It's just insane that you think about the history of that and the ingenuity and engineering that someone came up with back then, when we're like, let's use rebar and a brick, and it's like, no, they were just.
Well, when I was 17, I drove my Datsun pickup truck and went to the Havasu Indian Reservation on the Grand Canyon. And me and my buddies hiked down there, and we're on the reservation. There's beautiful swimming holes and waterfalls. We got into the little village or town that they have, and there's two towers, steers are standing up, and they were saying that one of those falls, our nation will be gone, you know. But so even then I was learning this, but we went into this area and there was only one pipe coming out of the wall with water where you could fill your canteens and stuff. We're 17, and there's guys our age, Indians, that are on the reservation, all sitting around watching us get our water, you know, and we're like, it was a very intimidating, but if we were our age now, we would have said hi, you know, put out a hand and said hi, you know, but we didn't know, you know, they didn't know, we didn't know. We just were like looking at each other, filled up, and went on our way. Interesting.
We did have a question from Kyle Snow. He says, we're just going to ask if there's info on Gene's travels and where he's going to be going.
I was going to have him tell us where he should.
Or is it kind of all under wraps and you're
as of currently, I'm going to be in Southern California. The Southern California tribes are having their celebrations throughout September.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be going down to Sequan and San Manuel, and I think this weekend is Santa Rosa. They're having the Peon Games,
all right,
which is another, you know, very unique to California. It's a gambling game. I mean, it's kind of the reason, you know, why, you know, that story goes back to our, you know, it's given us that sovereignty over gambling. You know, I just did a show talk with. I played the man who took it to the Supreme Court, and we won that sovereignty for Indian gaming. So
really? What was that?
It's called People of the West.
Is it out?
Puchakoyam. It's produced out of the Pachanga.
Oh, really?
Nation, yes.
So where can they, if they want to follow you? So you got Instagram, you got there,
right there, People of the West. Yes.
but you've got Instagram, you got Facebook. What have we got those in links?
Yep,
I
it's
think
all in
I
the
have
video
links
description.
I'm at Gene Braverock at Gmail or Gene Braverock on Instagram.
We have
and then I have the Oki Language Project on Instagram as well. They have links at the top where you can make, if you want to support and make donations.
I was going to say, so can they donate there as well?
Yes, I as of recently, I've worked with Cowboys and Indians, and they gave me a 9-page spread in there where I have 3 photos with a donation. You can get a signed digital copy of a tintype from Joseph Kane.
Oh,
which the pictures are turned out. That's a 4-year something that we've been trying to do forever, and we finally got it done, and it came out amazing. As of recently, just before Indian Market a couple weeks ago, I worked with Zoe Ernest, who has done another photo that we did, on a bike. I think it was a 47 Harley Davidson
Knucklehead, probably.
wagon burner. It's called, right?
Oh.
It's kind of
nice.
Coincident. I mean, you know what? Everything with that. So we work together. She's an amazing artist, amazing photographer. So to work with her and do what we did, we were actually going to do it in LA, and it just on a day's notice, we were like, hey, I was near the Bay. I called my friend Neil, who does he's part of Whirling Log on Instagram, and he has another Aero Choppers on Instagram. So he brought in his chopper that we used for the photograph. You know what? And all the story fell into place. He was apprehensive. He was like, look, man, this time of year, the clouds are going to be there. You're not going to get a picture. And I was like, dude, this is going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. And so when it came down to it, we got the amazing panoramic shot of San Francisco and the bike on the bay looking over. Right, I'm going. So if you look at that,
was that Shiprocket? Was it too?
Alcatraz is just on the corner there.
Oh,
right. So in taking that photo, so many different things happened. For me, doing the photo and using my war bonnet, I'm not there to capitalize on anything like that due to the fact I'm wearing my war bonnet. But the proceeds of it then go to my Oki Language Project, where it does benefit the elders that I sit with. And
I did see that.
My journey across America.
Yeah.
Right. So that in itself, for me, that's a huge story. That's a freedom fighting picture.
Yeah.
Right? Going towards Alcatraz, we're still here. Right.
On a Harley.
I feel, every step we take in America, there's a story to be told, and it's an Indigenous one.
Yeah.
So with my project, that's kind of my intention of retaining those stories.
Let's go back a little bit to the gifts. You had to learn the gifts and learn about the tribes, and you had different tobacco than you do today. Right. Talk a little bit about how you've had to, over the years, kind of learn that.
So in coming forward, I mean, from where I come from, we don't have the traditional tobacco just because of colonization. We don't have those pockets of traditional medicines that we have, right? So I was buying tobacco to give to elders, and for me as well, my own offerings. And I brought up that question to myself of, my intention is there, but there's been no protocol in picking this tobacco.
Right.
So now it's come to the point where I've been gifted traditional tobacco from Southern California that was harvested by children singing the right songs for protocol. For me to have this tobacco and to be able to gift it back out to elders. So that's been a very and doing this,
but isn't that a great story to be able to tell an elder that here's what's happened and here's the way I had to learn, and then I found out and I got this connection, and now we've got the right traditions in place around the.
Well, now I'm getting tobacco from different places, and we all use different tobacco, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
the 500 plus federally recognized tribes, we all had different tobaccos. And, you know, that's another thing that I'm doing is celebrating our differences, because we're not all the same. We didn't all hunt buffalo, and we didn't all live in teepees, right?
Right.
Which is kind of the stereotype.
Right.
So a big thing for me is the greetings, because again, there's a different. Our greeting doesn't mean hello. You know, mine. So that's where Oki comes from. Oki means, it refers back to water, which is Oki, that gives life. So when I say Oki, I'm wishing you good life. It's more of a prayer than a greeting, right? Back home where I come from, if I said hi to an elder and walked away, it's kind of disrespectful.
Really?
Right. I mean, that's kind of some of the things that I like to show and teach the differences. I mean, even in introduction, you know, nowadays, you know, traditionally I would introduce myself by acknowledging where I come from and who I come from. You know, I was raised by my grandmother. I come from the Tall Tree clan, and I wouldn't even say my name. And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know your grandma. I know who you are." Right. But nowadays it's like, "Hey, I'm Gene Braverock, and these are all the movies that I did." Right. So one's about respect and one's about ego.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a good parallel to show, hey, we have different value systems of even in our greetings.
Interesting.
Yeah, Don was showing us the greeting and how he used that in Siberia. So because he came out of the boarding school, which was not a great thing, but for him it ended up being a little bit okay, just because he was able to bridge the gap, is how he tells it, between the tribes. And then what was happening is all these kids coming back, the language was being lost. And so the elders came to him and said, "We want you to figure out a way to teach our language back to these children." And lo and behold, he figured out with Rosetta Stone how to do that. And so that caught word across the world. And he was contacted by a group out of Russia, and they wanted him to travel into Siberia. And so he got there. He doesn't speak the language, but he did my mom, right? And the lady walked up and said, "I understand."
You know what, traveling, doing what I'm doing, I've been influenced, you know, even a lot when I lived in Europe. I lived in Paris. I did the Buffalo Bills Wild West show.
Really?
And in living there, and I realized the people that worked there, they spoke 4 or 5 different languages. I'm like, wow, I'm having trouble with my own. But it really made that connection of how important language is. There's so many things you can say in other languages where you can't even say it in English or describe it in English.
Right. Well, he was talking about that as well. Like, and you hear the Navajo code talkers and all that, because people couldn't decipher that. But, you don't even think about that you had to relearn. All these people had to relearn. They didn't have an airplane.
Right.
What the hell was an airplane?
Right.
So how do you create that word for someone to? And you just sit there and scratch your head. The depth and the stories he brought to us were they were phenomenal.
And it wasn't even just a word. It was more like explaining, walking to the river, not a word for it, but a sentence for it, you know. Interesting.
And even silly things like, you know, you got Jim Thorpe on your shirt, but we always thought Monument Valley was Monument Valley, but it was named by the Hollywood people. It wasn't even named that.
John Wayne and John Ford.
Right.
So let's go to Forest Gump Point, and we have no clue. We look at Monument Valley so differently today than we ever did.
Yeah.
And what we did on the trip on the way to Sturgis this year, even more different now, because we could see down into the bluff where the amphitheater was that we did the chanting that they sang for us. We could see the Moki Dugway. We could see places we had been, but we would never have seen that had we not met him in Anath, Utah last August. It's just insane what a difference a year makes, you know.
We
Just
spent a lot of
crazy.
time riding through reservations, being in different places, whether it's in the town of Jim Thorpe or in
no matter where
South
you are,
Dakota,
no matter
right
where
here.
you are, you're on, you know, somebody's traditional land.
Right here, 5 minutes from here, around the Chatsworth Reservoir. It's as big as the half of that room there, and it's underneath an awning, protected. It's a big oven where they used to make pottery,
Mhm.
and it's from the people that were here before, and it's being preserved.
Part of the Chumash.
Is it part?
Right.
She said Chumash, and
And
she
there's
said
another
something else.
tribe that was part of it.
It's
too.
nice here. Different places have different, down in San Diego, there always has to be a Native American present if they're digging because of
Yeah.
bones and stuff. And,
Yeah.
and even when I was out in Tennessee, I was out in Nashville, and I was looking for the mounds. And even though there's no reservations around there, they've been preserving those mounds, and they've, and I was kind of, to be honest, I was like my first time there, and I was going through the back roads, and a lot of the houses had the Confederate flags.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here before dark. But going to
Right.
a gas station nearby, it was like, again, a little apprehensive, but I was kind of a novelty. It was like, hey,
Yeah.
you're Native, hey, I'm Cherokee. So there was still those connections over there,
Sure.
even though there isn't any reservations.
Right. Huh.
Oh, there's also a place up in just outside of Santa Barbara, up off the 154, and you hang a right, and it's a Chumash.
Casino.
And no, the caves that we went up
Oh,
into.
what were they called?
Painted Caves?
Cave
Painted
Road.
Cave Road.
Amazing.
It's
You
really-
go up there.
I'll have to go check that out.
They've tried to preserve. There's been some people, but they've put a couple gates so that people can't get in there. But it's pretty cool.
It's
And
a
not
little
too
off the
far from
beaten
here.
track, but you get off the 154. I'll show you a picture after. But it's the Painted Caves. Yeah.
If you're out here, you might as well just go take a look.
Right? Exactly. I'm trying. It's been, again, I'm so blessed to be able to do what I'm doing and travel and and honor the land as much as I can.
So you said you have a son.
Yes.
One son, two
I have two sons.
sons.
Yes, and I have a daughter as well.
Wow. So you're a dad.
I'm a dad.
So you can teach them as well,
But
right?
that's the point. That's
Yeah.
that's the I think not just myself. I really feel that I've had the opportunity to do a lot of amazing things, and I want to share that gift and that power, with other Indigenous people or whoever. I'm proof that dreams are bigger and better than the realities that surround us. I mean, I grew up on the reservation in Canada, and I laugh about it being here in California. I used to tell, I was raised by my grandmother, so my uncles are like my brothers.
Yeah.
And I'd tell my uncle, hey, where are you going? He's like, oh, I'm going to California. It was like, it was none of my business, right? And it was like saying going to the moon. It was like
Right.
something out of this world. And so now to be here and be in California, be in LA, and have all the opportunities that I've had, I want to give back as much as I can to anybody, because
I mean, you went from the reservation to Hollywood
right.
and back. I mean, that's a big.
And you know what? And I didn't have to lose traditional values. For me, it was riding a horse, knowing my language, having long hair, storytelling.
Yeah.
It's literally taken me around the world.
Yeah.
I've lived in Paris. I've lived in Rome. I've lived in London. I've also lived on the res, different reses.
Well, like you said with your family, and he always told us, like my parents are 92. He would say, you need to have a conversation with them and film it so you can have their story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing like you're saying. I mean, I'm fortunate enough I could go after this and have a cigar with my dad, and we sit there and talk. My mom's right there. We can have conversations, so I learn a lot. But documenting it to share with the ones that come after,
Right.
And that's what they've been doing.
I go to communities and I ask children, what's your last name? Where does it come from? And they don't know. So
Right.
that's the first thing you need to do,
Yeah.
because that's who you are. Understand where you come from.
Well, and culturally, I think many have lost their way. Because those
Mhm.
stories, you don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, I
You
think
got to
statistic-wise,
perpetuate them and not hide them. And it's
80% of Indigenous people are off the reservation.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of the reservations, I mean, my reservation's a lot different than reservations down here that are inner city even, right? So,
I mean, there's so many things to learn and so much culture and so many all around. I mean, we went into downtown Philadelphia to the Fletcher Street Cowboys. We saw a TV show. We contacted them. It took us like a year to get in there. they invited us. Once they talked to us and kind of saw who we were and what our intentions were, they were like, come on in. Well, it's in the worst neighborhood you can find in Philadelphia, Fletcher Street. And you're downtown and you're in the hood. And they even tell you when you come in, don't film people because you're going to want to come out. They're going to want money. But it's a black community of riding horsemen and women. And they're teaching kids how to ride. And it's an equine state, so they can ride horses all over the state. But it's like, they're teaching these young kids about horses and life and work. And it was really amazing. So we get to see and learn so much and then share it with everybody. And that's what you do. And Don Mose, you know.
What's the most interesting place you guys have been? What sticks out the most?
Monument Valley, I have to say. I always say the next one, and I love everywhere I've gone, but I'm drawn to Monument Valley, and I can't tell, I don't know why, but when I ride through, I'm like, I feel this getting
It's a magical place for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many things we've been blessed with over the last, I mean, we were doing it before and not showcasing it. But by showcasing what we do, it's just opened up a whole different world to us. And mental health, helping people, the stories we get back from people saying, thank you for saving my life. Can't count on my hands and fingers and toes and how many we've had. And so the places that we go that are special and we're able to share that with people, there's a power about that that's pretty cool. So Monument was absolutely insane both times we went.
But it's interesting because
Fletcher Street's also insane,
right,
because they were thinking the same thing when you're approaching. What do they want? And we don't want anything. We just want to tell your story.
Then they welcomed us in.
We've had guests on this show, and again, thank you for being here, that have blown us away by their story, whether they were about to kill themselves, whether they had been raped as a young man. I don't think when we first started this, we ever thought that would come to us. You know, there's some, I would call it notoriety that comes along with it, which I don't think we expected that much either. You know, characters on the screen, so people naturally want to picture, say hello, and we didn't think about that, and we sure as hell didn't think about this mental thing that has been going on in the storytelling. So it's hard because I know there's going to be another story we're going to latch onto and find. We try to do at least one documentary a year, and we'll find one this year again, and it's going to be super special.
But I mean, when Don Mose himself, the gentleman that we met, whose family with us now, we're friends, brothers, tells us, you guys coming here and doing what you've done, you've changed our life here in this valley. But yet we go home and say, you changed our life. Like we've changed each other's lives. It's like so amazing.
I mean, we wouldn't be sitting here with you if we hadn't done this channel. And now we've got another brother who just gave us something that's priceless.
You know what? It's such a small world.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, as beautiful as it is, everything, the connections that I've made with elders being very organic. I don't, you know, plan it out. It just kind of happens and it works out the way it does. And
because you put your energy in it. So
right.
It just happens. It blossoms. I mean, you know Emilio Rivera, the actor of the Mayans.
Yes.
So he came in here and he has stories of his youth in the inner cities and stuff that he went through. That was amazing, you know, and that's another part culture, but in downtown LA, or, you know, so we've seen it from our backyard across the country and into Canada.
Let's have you speak to the gifts one more time, because there was a question up here about, is there something you shouldn't gift or something wrong? Is the gifting more of the tradition between the Native Americans, the indigenous people, the tribes, or is there, if I were to give a gift, I wouldn't know what to give. I would have to do the research or something, right? Because I think they're trying to say, hey, is there anything we should know not to give as a gift? Anything that
I think anything that brings, you know, for me, it's food, something that's useful, something that that we utilize. I mean, for me, again, the gifts are very. I'll take bluebird flower, which you can only get down here in the South, and I'll bring it to Canada. I'll bring it to elders up there, and it's like gold.
Really?
Right? Or I'll bring, I'll bring a bunch of Tim Hortons coffee from Canada, and I'll bring it to New Mexico or to Florida, or it's that exchange. Or I'll get the peppers from New Mexico and bring.
The hatch.
It's very
chili.
unique to different places. I'll get huckleberry from Montana and give it to the elders that I went to in Florida.
So maybe the answer to his question is they should donate to your cause, and that way you can give more gifts.
Sure. You know what? For me, it is the more I get, the more I can give, and it is, their stories, you can't put a price on it.
No,
that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
What is Blaine, Bytown Blaine saying?
Said, hello, gents, and Oki from Ottawa, Eugene. Keep up the great work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bytown Blaine. What's upcoming for you? You've got stuff going on here. Do you have any projects on the TV or big screen you can tell about?
I'm working on a couple different projects, being a consultant.
Okay.
Nowadays, I'm still open to acting and doing auditions, but with that, I got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of one of the keys to my success is taking every opportunity that comes my way, and being in the business for over 20 years. Yep. I do have an insight into whether it's the etiquette or the traditional values of storytelling. And when it comes to the Indigenous storytelling, I know that I can reach out to a community if I don't know the cultural particulars, to be able to ask in a respectful way, for the sake of storytelling, but to get it right as a consultant, as opposed to, the stereotypes that have been created to do it in a respectful manner. So I'm thankful to come on with a production company, Chaotic Pictures, and several other ones that have come forward asking for some support in that respect. And again, coming up here right away is the communities down south in Southern California. So I want to go sit with them and do that. Respect their honor, respect their elders, and it's starting to get cold up in Canada. So I'm trying to
stay down here. I mean, you said something, and I think it was with us the last time we talked to you, about if there's a part in a movie and it's not right of portraying your character, that you would tell them,
right,
this is the right way to do it, right?
I've always been very vocal. And again, it comes down to etiquette. And what I was saying in one of the films was to one of the other boys that I was working with. I was like, hey man, like if we were really going into battle, like our braids would have been tied. We would have been, ready to go to the spirit world, but it looks like we haven't showered for a month. They're making us look primitive. And the director heard me and asked me to repeat what I said. And etiquette wise, I should have been aware that he heard me, because he just said, this is my story, not yours. If there's 100 other Indians that'll take your job. You want to work or not? And I was like, yeah, you know what, I want to work. So I've done a lot of things in my career to get to where I'm at. So I'm very thankful now that I'm able to pick and choose. Or now I've been able to say, okay, I won't do it like that, but I'll do it like this, right? To appease the cultural side of it, or
I think that's important.
Okay, this guy, what did he say?
I just said, I remember when I used to go and visit my grandparents on the reservation, my grandfather always said, bring boxes of cigarettes, because cigarettes were trading on the res.
Well, when it comes to that, the quick story about tobacco, it wasn't something for us that was addictive. It was a ceremonial thing,
Right.
and that again has changed now. It's taken a different,
But we were talking about it earlier. It wasn't. It was kind of like a cigar. You wouldn't inhale.
Yeah,
it was more of a cultural ceremony or part of something.
Right. I mean, that was
offering.
How would I say that was the highway our intentions went to the spirits with.
Right.
Is that smoke? It wasn't an addictive process of, I need a cigarette or it was a ceremonial thing.
Oh, you
this
said
question
that earlier too.
There's another.
I think this was recent, yesterday,
Yes.
right? He said, Bytown Bland said, I'm late to the show. Have you guys discussed the passing of Graham Greene, a Canadian Indigenous acting icon? We have not yet.
We have
so
not
Great
discussed
actor.
rest in
that.
peace.
Loved him in a lot of his work.
Yeah, he opened the doors for a lot of us in the business. It was, Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
Before dances, after Dances with Wolves, that's when that's when it was cool to be Indian.
Did the other shows help, like 1983 or 1883, and then Yellowstone, all that? Does that
What?
help?
It's been great. I mean, I'm so thankful to be a part of a time where we are taking back the narrative and telling our own stories, or having more insight to how the story is told.
Right.
And I think Taylor Sheridan has done a great job in the productions that he's done. Again, to be a part of the story, it's again. I mean, as speaking of Dark Winds, I mean, that was a story written by a non-Indigenous man that, I know now there's probably 10, 20 Indigenous writers in the room taking back that narrative and it being on AMC now.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, thankful to be a part of this time where, to change that narrative, because at one point we didn't have that option, or where you look back at the spaghetti westerns where there was no Indigenous people and they were all spray tanned. And,
Right.
I had the opportunity to go to Italy and Spain and film in some of the iconic locations of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and it was surreal. Again, living my dreams has taken me around the world, and to be a part of, to be still a part of it is great.
Well, that guy in your shirt's one of the leaders too.
Right. From way back.
Way back.
I mean,
He had to fight.
I look forward to there being a movie about.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a documentary that just came out from Chris Eyre that was brought out during Indian Market a couple weeks ago, but
We're gonna have to
that's
watch
an
that.
amazing story for sure.
So it's
that every
on air
American should
now.
know.
Maybe you could play it.
Oh, I'm too old to play Thorpe. He was a young
Yeah, he
dude.
was a young
Yeah. They have to
track
find a young
guy.
Right.
Just- He was an all-around athlete.
Yeah.
Everything.
Was he decathlon stuff?
He was, but he primarily, I think, ended up being known more on the track. But he was a hell of a swimmer. He was a hell of an athlete.
Right. That's why they have football these days.
Yeah.
Is because of,
Yeah. Just insane.
And there's a weird story about the town of Jim Thorpe, about naming it.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I don't know.
It was a interesting story. I don't know if it was a family thing or whatever.
It was
but,
a family thing.
But anyway.
But yeah, what a great story though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's he lost his medals, right? Then he got him back. It
Yeah.
was something that, I mean, that's a great story. Amazing story.
So is the documentary out?
It is out. I don't know actually where it just.
Do you know what it was called?
It's called Thorpe.
It's just called Thorpe.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll find that.
Yeah, we got to find it. Did you have, when you were doing Dark Winds, did you have fun with the cast?
It was great. It was
a good
amazing.
time?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think you told me a lot of it wasn't really filmed in Monument Valley, right?
So
Hollywood, man.
well, they have the studios just outside of Santa Fe, Camel Rock Studios. So when I was actually with Don Mose and his family, the young son was like, "Man, I just get mad when I watch that show." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Well, if anybody knows, look on the ground." He goes, "The sand is red.
Right.
On Dark Winds, it's yellow. It's
Yeah.
brown." He goes, "It's not." Anybody knows that's not Monument Valley. So,
Well, you just need to say that's
Well,
Hollywood.
Some of it was though, right?
they did, you know.
Some like driving scenes.
The first,
know.
so the first season we did have. We were going to do a big move out there to take some scenes and do some shots, but that was right on the verge of the cusp of that strike that happened. That never did happen, but they didn't want
They
to
didn't want to
make
be
$1
out.
million
Yeah.
move and then go on strike. So
Right.
they had a B camera go out there and do all the
And the
the
cars in
amazing
that
shots.
show, all the old cars, you know, Suburban that
Right.
what's the Zach
Zon.
that he drove all the time. He'd blow up in one and then they'd have it again. Yeah.
I like my vehicle on there too. It was great. It was,
Crazy.
You've been out, you've been an actor. We've got a couple more minutes left. When you sit back and look at that 9-year-old, what do you think personally you're most proud of?
again, being a product of believing in myself and making my dreams happen. If I could do it, anybody could do it. I'm very blessed and very thankful for, again, for all the it hasn't been easy. I mean, I've heard a million no's and I didn't give up.
Right.
And that one yes gave me the ability to share my language on a platform unheard of, for my language. So to be able, my first word in Wonder Woman was Oki, wishing her good life. So
Was that one of your first shows that you?
Well, no, I got
No,
into business as a stuntman.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I had a million auditions that said no. And then I got that one yes that, put it on it changed my life, my career. I mean, now I have the Oki Language Project. It's still moving and still going. And I honestly don't know where it's going, but I look forward to it. I mean, I've been blessed with the footsteps that I've taken and asking guidance in the footsteps I'm about to take. I didn't even know I was going to be sitting in here yesterday morning, right? So again, I'm taking every opportunity. Being here in LA right now, I got an acting coach here now and setting planting some seeds here.
Very good.
And what are you most proud of professionally? Is it your project now that you're on? You did all the no's and you got some yeses and you've moved yourself in that professional career. Is this other side where you're helping and teaching and giving gifts, is that as gratifying or more gratifying than?
Oh yeah, I think for sure.
Yeah.
To be able to be welcomed into a community. And I don't think, I think for me it is easier being recognized as a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
To go into another community and ask for whether that's guidance or to share their stories and language.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays that happens. It's like, heck no, who are you? But nowadays, like I'm with my platform and with my experience that I've, what I've experienced in the last 20, 30 years. Again, I feel like I can go into any community and be welcomed and to be welcomed like family.
Right.
I could go back anytime I want. I could go back to the Mose family, or I could go to, all the way to Florida. I spent some time in the Everglades and I look forward to going back because again, they treated me like family and I'm welcome to go back anytime. So it's a blessing to be able to share traditions, honor our elders and
that's really important, and it's really kind of what it's all about.
So tell us, before we leave, tell us about the necklace you've got on.
The necklace that I have on.
Talk about that and the stone. And
so, well, it's a Navajo pearls.
Okay.
Which is it's a very intricate way of making the beads, which has an elk tooth. I have a elk tooth on the bottom.
So that's an elk tooth.
Yes, it's a medicine. It's a good luck thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you put it on. You did a great job. So it must have worked.
You know,
Actually, I should know that. I've seen elk teeth.
I feel like the luckiest man in the world, to be honest. Again, with the footsteps that I've taken, and to have my dreams come true. You know, to be a part of the Buffalo Bills Wild West show, to be a part of Dark Winds, to be a part of Wonder Woman, to be a part of the storytelling world and the art world and the fashion world, and to be.
Yeah, I noticed on your Instagram you got a lot of fashion stuff you got going on.
You know what? I'm not a model, but I can act like one.
You act like
Right?
it great. Yeah, it's perfect. Wow. Hey, can I put this on like a chain?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes.
Nice.
We'll make a bezel and get a nice chain for it, or you can put it in a medicine bag.
I keep a bag.
You have it with you?
I don't it ripped, so I have now. I've got a new bag I got to get. But I have beads. I have all sorts of just different offerings. I have a putty stone. This is
very thankful. Again, this is the most unique gift I can give.
That's amazing. We love it. But you, us, we all put out positive energy, and that's why we get to where we need to get.
Mm-hmm.
Because people need stories. They want to tell stories. They want to share, and they love family. So everywhere we go, these people feel included, and all of a sudden it's like, we're friends. Let's eat. That's what we put out.
You've done our show from a truck, and you've done our show from our studio. You're the first to do it that way. But this is our home as well. You're always welcome. We appreciate you coming in and spending the time with us, and we bless you with our gifts as well. And keep doing what you're doing, because it's important to share and bring that spirit to people. So keep doing.
Well, thank
what
you
you're
for
doing.
giving me that opportunity to share my project and what I've been doing.
So go check out that project, you guys. There's links in here, and if you can help out in any way, it helps a lot of people.
And lastly, go check out our drop from yesterday at, what was it, 42 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, it was like 46 minutes. It was day 4 and 5 of our ride to the 2025 Sturgis Rally. We tent camped in Colorado. We went river rafting in Colorado. We woke up in Moab that morning. Got to see some awesome riding. That was one of the best stretches of road.
Put up Simon's comment real quick.
So our final comment.
How do you say thank you?
Yep, he's asking. I ask for a good future for your Oki Language Project. Before you leave, teach us how to say thank you in your native language.
You know what? There is no word for thank you. That's kind of like if I was to give something to somebody, or if I had something, I would give it just because I had it. That was another traditional thing. Because if you have to say thank you, it puts you on a different level.
Yeah.
So there is no thank you. I mean, there's a I am happy. You make me ayin taki. Makes me happy.
Okay.
Right? That's probably the key. Ayin taki. That's the closest you can say thank you, but there is no actual thank you.
How do you say goodbye?
So it's Gidaya kitamatsunukhpoa.
Wow.
Now they've shortened to Getamatsin. Again, there's an evolution in our language from talking with elders. There's an old language.
Is there a goodbye, or is it more of I'll see you down?
It's a see you later. Yeah. There's no goodbye.
Right.
See you down the road.
So we just say see you down the road.
Right.
You have to translate that one for us.
See you down the road.
See you down the road.
See you down the road.
That's how we end our videos.
Probably to say
see, you should be on TV.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
Safe travels. And there's a lot going on in Southern California with the Indigenous. We think Medicine Wheel Ride, they're bringing some people out. When is their ride? Well, there's something here in October.
I know. I want to make him come to it.
Well, we can check with her, Lorna, but they're going to come do something with us in the first week of December, it looks like.
Oh, cool. You know,
So if you're
there's a lot.
around.
I will be around.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be they're having a rodeo, Rincon, the Southern California tribe is putting on the rodeo down in San Diego.
I think they're going to be down there.
They're going to have, I think they're going to have the Indian relay.
That's,
Have you seen that?
is that the first week of October?
Really?
I think so.
So I think they're coming down for that as well.
So yeah, you guys gotta look into Indian relay, and when you guys get a chance, go see it.
Maybe we'll go there and tell stories with you and film it.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
See you.
No, thank you.
Down the road.
I need the key.
Oh.
Boom.